my name is Jay Fane, also known as Wolfie, or on here Wolfie Sky Cosplay. I just wanted to come on and say that I have came out as being trans male about 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was about 3 years ago. And it's been a journey for sure. I haven't really been able to start anything quite yet. When I first came out, I didn't have a binder, and it took me about 3 years to get a binder because I didn't have the money or the knowledge of how to get one in a formal way, or I didn't know where to get one. So I just ended up using one of the worst things to use, which is Ace Bandage. There was a couple of times when I used them and it caused me to pass out from lack of air. Not the best. So I just say this like every other, let's say, person that's binding for a trans male or a cross player or cross-dresser would say, don't use Ace bandages. They're the worst thing to use because they continuously get smaller and smaller and shrink more. It just shrinks and shrinks constantly as you're wearing it. So as the hours go by, it will start to put pressure on your rib cage, and it can break or disform your ribs, and if they break, it could puncture a lung and you can possibly die, or in my case, pass out from lack of air. Sometimes I could wear it for about 8 hours or so, and I would get home and then take it off, and then I would always pass out that way because, yeah, shock of like, oh, I finally have air in my lungs. Wow, this is a shock. So I do personally say, do not wear Ace bandages. I've dealt with it and I can't wear them no more because the pain, and I literally just can't wear them anymore. But yeah, so I came out about 3 years ago, but I didn't tell my mom till last year, I think. Yeah, last year, not last year. I don't remember when. It was sometime probably in November of last year. No, oh wait, never mind. I should say 2 years ago. Yeah, this is weird. So, wait, maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. But I told my mom on the 2015 November something or September. I don't remember. It was one of those months. But I came out, and as I came out to her, she was my first person I came out to out of family. It was awkward. I was crying, and I wasn't even face to face with my mom because I am a person that is terrified of emotions, negative emotions. So that means her probably like, oh, this is not real, because this is actually how she reacted. But I did it through Facebook, and I was just like, I did get a message from her 5 days after I sent it to her. So every morning I woke up, because I knew she goes on Facebook, or she went on Facebook every morning before work. So I would be like, is she gonna reply? Is she gonna reply? Like every morning I went through that kind of scare. Like I was scared every morning. I was terrified. I was just like, is she gonna like disown me? Is she gonna hate me? And I just all those thoughts just kept going through my mind for 5 days straight until I mustered up the courage to be like, Ma, did you read my Facebook post? Or did you not post my Facebook message to you? She replied with, I did, and it's just, it still has to go through my mind. Like I still have to think about it, but I still love you anyways. So she still loves me, which is like a major woo. That's good. She loves me. But I also came out as being bi, so meh. That one's, she's just like, whatever, it's just, you like girls and guys, who cares? But then it was just the trans part, she was just like, she still is very, about it. All I know is that at least she still loves me, but I still get called my dead name constantly, all the time, and that's never going to change for a very long time. No, I know that for a fact. I then came out to my Aunt Jackie next. She's, I think I first came out to her as being bi, and then I came out to being trans, because bi is not as dramatic as being trans is. Like, she actually knew I was either lesbian or bi. She knew, but I'm not lesbian. I'm gay. I'm just bi. Period. I'm just bi. Because I like both girls and guys. So. Yeah. But yeah, so she kind of knew that I already was, because of the way that I am, and I guess because I never really brought any guys to family stuff. Mind you, a lot of my relationships was with girls. After grade 11, I didn't really have many guys as relationships. But so I came out to her as being trans. She was just like, you can do whatever you want. It's your body, but I personally don't think you should do it till you're 30 years old. And I'm just like, I don't want to wait till I'm 30 years old. I'm 21 right now, and I know people that have already transitioned before they were 20. So I'm just like, the fuck. I want to transition now. But then of course people also have to wait for a long time, because they might not have the luxury of having parents that accept them for everything. And they're like, oh, okay, so then instead of you being my little girl or a boy, you're now my little boy or girl. If they're a trans woman, then of course it'd be my little girl instead of a little boy. But so it's just like, a lot of family or trans people don't have the luxury of having parents that are just fully accepting. Like, a lot of people have just coming out just to their parents in any form way, if they're lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, just a bunch of all the other different ones. It's just, you can easily be disowned because you're not the norm, what they would call the norm, where the norm is straight and not changing your body or changing your body in a form of way of getting plastic surgery on your nose, your face, your lips, your legs, just random shit. That's the norm in this world, and it's stupid. I personally don't think that's the norm. That is just weird. That shit's weird. Our shit's like normal for us. But yeah, I then came out to my stepdad on New Year's Eve. Yeah, New Year's Eve I came out to my stepdad. He was just like, well, I came out to like my step sibling, or my one step sibling, and my brother's now ex-wife, way before I came out to like most of everyone in this household or in this family. But I knew they were going to be accepting of them no matter what, because they're in this generation. So I came up to my stepdad, because he was just like, okay, so it's the end of the year. I want everything that you're hiding or keeping hidden on the table right now. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm bi and I'm trans. He was taken off guard so badly. Like, he was just like, I was not expecting that. Like, he once again doesn't care that I'm bi, but he was just like, the trans part. Well, they didn't really understand what trans meant either. They were just like, what's that? I'm like, well, when you are born a certain gender, or you're given a gender as you were a child or a baby, and you know for a fact that you're not that gender. You were supposed to be born with either the male genes or with the female genes, and not the ones that you're given. And then I told them wanting to change your gender from female to male or male to female. Their next question was, how many friends do you have that are like this, or trans, or like gay, or bi, or lesbian? I'm like, most of my friends are, because, and they're like, well, that's the thing, you're just following their footsteps. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. When I was a kid, going right back to like when I was in grade 5, because that's when I first transferred over to high school. It was when I was in grade 5, I started getting out of what the norm was, what I believed that my mom would have wanted me to wear. That's generally what I had stuck in my mind. I have to wear these clothes because this is what my mom wants. This is what my body says I'm supposed to have. Like, this is what girls are supposed to wear. So I ended up wearing girl clothes for like most of my life. But my brother started outgrowing most of his clothes, so I was just like, hey, I'm gonna take these clothes off of you so you don't have to worry about them, and I'm gonna wear them. So I started wearing them, and I went to school, and as I was at school, I held the door open for a lady and her son, and she was just like, to her little kid, son person, say thank you to the young man for holding the door for us. I was so happy. I was just like, yay, she called me a guy. I was like ecstatic, and I was so happy about it. But and so I started continuously wearing guy clothes. But then my mom started like, you're not allowed. You have to wear these clothes. These are girl clothes. You have to wear them no matter what. You have to. And I'm like, whatever. So I continued. So I went back to wearing girlier clothes, and I was just like, fine, whatever. I'll wear these. And then high school came around, and I went to a Catholic school. So there's the the uniforms you have to wear. So at least the norm for the uniforms there is just like girls would wear the kilts, guys would wear the pants, but girls had the options of wearing the pants, mainly for the fact that it can get cold in Canada. So they're like, okay, here, you can wear pants. You don't always have to wear a freaking kilt every fucking day. So what I did is, if I didn't have the pants with me, and because I was already a ghost in that freaking school, so no one even knew me, or like they knew me but they didn't really care for me. I wore the kilt, but I wore my track pants underneath it. And they were school track pants. They were just not dress code. Like, I wasn't really supposed to wear them underneath my kilt, but I did anyway. And I'm like, what? I'm wearing the kilt, I'm wearing these. Doesn't really matter. So I hated wearing kilt skirts, and I still do. But yeah, so that's how I managed it. But at that time, I came out. I believed, because I never heard the wording trans, but I heard first the term queer. So, or no, gender fluid. My bad, not queer. Gender fluid, gender queer. So I thought that I was just gender fluid because I went between guy clothes and girl clothes constantly. So it was just like, one day I would wear girl clothes, one day I would wear guy clothes, because I felt more comfortable in the guy clothes, but I had to wear the girl clothes because of my mom. So it was just like, I'm gender fluid. That's what I thought I was for like the most of my life. Then I transferred over to a different school, and that school was a public school. So yay, no more uniforms. Perfect. Don't like uniforms. They're freaking pain in the ass. So I got to wear my own clothes, and I started wearing more guyer clothes. Guyer, that is totally a word. More guy clothes, and I started feeling more comfortable, and I still went between girl clothes because my mom was just like, ooh, you don't wear really enough girl clothes. So I managed it in a form of way where I would wear girl clothes, but they wouldn't be light. clothes, they would be darker clothes. So it was just like, I'm managing this in a form of way. So I'm gonna wear guy clothes now. And or dark girl clothes, or just dark clothes, period. So that's what I've been doing most of my life. So I started wearing that, but then I heard the term trans male, or just trans, period, because there was a trans female in my school, and I was just like, I wonder what that means. So I looked it up, and I was just like, oh, so trans mean, or you trans male or trans female means you're changing your gender from the one to the other by getting surgery on it. So I was just like, that sounds like, not just that, but also for the fact that it's when you have a form of dysphoria, which is known as gender dysphoria, and that means you feel uncomfortable, you feel disgusted in yourself. Like if you have, let's say, for a male to female, they don't have chest, they don't have their boobs, they have a dick. So they feel uncomfortable in that body. They feel that they should be more curvy, more, they should have a chest, they shouldn't have a dick, and they should have what girls would be having, and they should be wearing girl clothes. So a lot of the times, if you suffer from gender dysphoria, you get, if you're a guy and you want to be a girl, you are stuck in the fact that you have to wear guy clothes because that's what the norm would go by, and you hate being called a guy, where for a female to male, they hate being called a girl, and they hate being put into girl clothes. Like, I have many friends that, and I had to deal with it a couple of times, where they have to wear dresses or skirts to a formal party that involved family, and they hated it. They would come back home and they would be depressed, overly depressed, because they weren't able to be depressed at the party, so they got depressed at home. And that's usually what I go through a lot of the times. Is I had to go to 3 weddings in the last 2 years, and each wedding I either had to wear a dress or a skirt. I was just like, screw the dress, I'm going with a skirt. So I wore a skirt, and I came home that night after, and I was just like, I feel disgusted, I feel gross, I don't like this, I need to get out of this now. So I would strip it off. Holy crap, that was the fastest I've ever taken off clothes. And I can relatively be quick, especially because I'm a cosplayer, so I can change cosplays in a day 9 times if I wanted to. I've done it already. But, so that was the fastest I've ever taken off clothes, because I just, no. So after I took that off, I went straight into baggier guy clothes, and I was just like, I feel so much better right now. And then I go on Skype with friends. They would be like, hey Jay, how are you doing, and stuff like that, or they would say, hey Wolfie, so on and so forth. It's just, they understand me. They know for the fact that I am a guy, I'm not that female thing over there, and they know to call me he, his, him, and Jay. They know. So that's what I love about my friends, and my friends have been so supportive of me for everything. And I swear I've just gone off topic so many freaking times already. I'm sorry, this is 21 minutes. But yeah, all of that summed up, I recently had a very emotional talk with my mom and stepdad. First started off with like, hey, you need to really get out there, get a job. And I'm just like, I want to. I really do, but I have like a lot of problems. Not as many problems as other people. Like, I don't have any horrible things that restricts me from working. It's more for the fact that I have to be careful where I work. I have a allergy towards scent. So perfume, cologne, hand cream, hand sanitizer if it's scented, dishwashing, soap, just anything that is chemically scented, I am allergic to. And if I work in those areas, I will start having troubles breathing, and I would constantly cough, and this cough can, even if one spray can cause me to cough for 2 hours straight. I've done that already, and it was not fun. Or if I'm in a area with it for too long, I can get a high fever, or I would just constantly cough throughout the whole day, and it drops my immune system way down. So if someone's sick around me, like right now, if someone was sick around me, I wouldn't get sick because my immune system is high. But if I'm having a fit, my immune system would go down and I would get sick. So it's like not fun at all. And I've actually had to, last year I had to get a shot because my immune system was so down because of all the fits that I had throughout that year. So they were like, it was just not fun. It's not fun. I don't like needles. And that's another problem. But so I can't work in areas like that. And then there's also for the fact that I have anxiety, a form of anxiety, not like really bad anxiety that people have. That's a constant everyday thing. Mine's more for the fact of I can't work in retail because if I worked at a grocery store once and I was the cashier, and the amount of people that freaking come in, like for at least on a Sunday, and the amount of stuff that people get for like 2 week span of food, you don't want to mess up. Because if you mess up, then people will be behind them and they're like, and I didn't know the products. I don't know produce and whatever those things are, because I don't cook. So, yet. So if I mess up, and it's a constant, I messed up. Oh my god, these people are mad at me. They're like getting annoyed. They're getting impatient, and it just goes downhill from there. Everything is just, I start to restrict and like just no, get away from me kind of thing. So that's usually what happens when I work retail, or I worked in another place and I started feeling sick. I started feeling sick throughout like the whole time that I was there. So that would be before, during, and after work. I would feel sick until I got home and started watching anime. Honestly, anime was the only thing that kept me from feeling sick, because I probably would have been sick like throughout, like 24/7 almost. So there's that problem too. So I have to either find a night shift where you don't work with people, or work in a factory that doesn't deal with anything scented, which is actually really hard. It's really hard to find work. A lot of the time, my mom is just like, "Oh, you're just using excuses to not work," and I'm like, honestly, if I could work, I would work. I want money. I hate asking for money, and I hate not having money. Because, one, I'm a cosplayer. We go to cons. That involves a lot of money. Okay, so yeah, I did recently get a what was that? So I did have an emotional talk with my mom and stepdad, and yet again it started off with, okay, finding a job and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. So after that, I actually started talking to my mom about like one of the reasons why I haven't really been looking like hard is because of my gender dysphoria, which just because I keep getting called she, her, I don't know, it's just a bunch of all that stuff. After I started getting, because I'm constantly getting called Jade, my dead name, and getting called she. So a lot of that is making me, for like, going further down into my gender dysphoria, and then looking at myself at this fucking mirror, because it's like right on my bed. Literally, it's just like right beside my bed. Like my bed, I'm sitting on my bed, and then this is there. Then I have one right over there. And I look at myself in there as I am getting changed, and I'm just like, ugh, gross. I look disgusting. I really hate the way I look, and I get depressed, and it just doesn't. I don't want to do anything. I will literally like sleep for hours to no end, or just watch Netflix or YouTube for hours to no end, because I don't want to do anything, because I feel horrible and I just don't know. Just no. So a lot of that has gone. I was just talking to my mom about that, and I was just like, you know what? No, I hate being called this. I hate looking at my body, and I'm just getting depressed over it. So my mom was just like, she messaged me about after I went back upstairs. She messaged me about 3 hours after, and she was just like, "I'm gonna try and talk and get you into seeing someone." And I'm like, finally. We were talking about this. The first time I came out to being trans to both of them to my mom and stepdad at the same time. Like when my stepdad asked me, my mom was just like, "Oh, you have to go see a psychologist." Yes, I want to go fucking see a psychologist, because he can get me to what I want. So yes, please let me go. We just have to figure that out. That didn't happen for months. And long time it didn't happen for. And then until I finally had that freaking emotional talk with them, like 2 weeks ago. "Okay, we're definitely gonna get you into seeing someone." Thank you. That is very nice, because I really need to go see one right now. No, and I'm gonna freaking so finally got to go see one, and holy crap, is he ever amazing. Freaking love him. Best psychologist ever. I don't really know how psychologists are, but a lot of times I hear bad comments or bad remarks about psychologists sometimes, and I'm just like, but he's really nice. Very sarcastic, but entertaining. So I got to go see one, and I'm just like, holy crap, this is amazing. He first thing, after I told him that I was trans, he was just like, "Okay, so what name do you usually go by?" And I'm like, "Jay." And so he was just like, "Are you comfortable with having the different gender pronouns?" And I'm like, "Yes, I prefer the male pronouns to the female pronouns." So he was just like, "Okay, easy enough." Then he asked, "Do you have a binder?" And I was like, "Yeah, I recently got a binder, because I had $60." My one friend that thought that she was trans, but ended up finding out that she wasn't trans. She was just like, "Yeah, I'm selling my binder and my Loki sweater. Do you want them?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. How much?" She was like, 60 for both. And I'm like, "Oh my god, that is a major steal," because binders can be pricey, and a Loki sweater is pricey. So I was just like, "Yeah, definitely, I'll take," because of course she wore them, so it's just like, well, they were worn, they were pre-used, so I can't sell them for the same price. If they were new, then I would sell them for the same price. But yeah, so she sold them to me for $60. So I'm like, "I have a binder." She's like, "Just make sure that it fits you first." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go to the bathroom, it fits perfectly, and I'm like, "Yay!" I mean, it doesn't bind me like the best compared to a lot of other people with their binders. It's also a Underworks, black Underworks full top, not a tri-top. It's a full top. And I'm just fixing it right now. Sorry. So I finally I told him, "Yeah, I have a binder, and I'm wearing it right now." It doesn't really bind me like perfectly, but it binds me enough compared to it. And so I'm still pre-T, so I haven't started testosterone yet. And I'm actually a little bit scared too, because one, I'm terrified of needles. And there's no other way to get testosterone into you but needles. There's no cream, there's no pills. it's needles. And I'm just like, needles, joy. Um, so that's gonna be a pain in the butt. Literally. Um, definite pun intended. um, but I did figure out that from one of my friends that is also trans and has been going through getting needles done, he goes to someone to get it done for him because he can't put it in his ass. No one can put a needle of their own in their own ass. But you can also have it in your thigh, or you can have it in your stomach. The stomach is one that's just like, I don't know, it's hard, it's weird. Apparently the needles are a lot longer if it's in your thigh or butt, but in your stomach, it's a shorter needle. So I'm just like, hi, can I do that? But then you'll have to do it yourself. You can't go to someone to get it done for you. I'm like, I'll go with the longer needle if it gets me to get, if it's someone else to do it for me, unless I get someone to do it for me that is like, oh, okay, I'll do needles. It'd be beautiful, but I don't think that's ever happening. So I also found out that you don't have to pay for everything if you can get it, because there is a form of way to cover it, most of it. So because my one friend that has fully transitioned to well, definitely not bottom surgery, but top surgery, he's got the top surgery done. He's been on T for 2.5 years, I think, or a little bit more. I think it might be 3 years now, but he's been on T for quite some time, and he's finally was able to get his transition done. So he told me that Cam H actually covers both your top surgery and your needles and your testosterone. So I was just like, well, hi, can I do this, please? So I'm looking into getting started on that. I'm gonna do it after I start T, because apparently the wait to get into a doctor to remove your chest, to your top surgery, I should say, is almost a 2-year wait. So a lot of people say you have to be on T at least for 2 years before you start it, but others say, well, there's also the fact that you don't need to be on T to get your top surgery. Like, if you don't want to lose your voice, because if you're a singer and you don't want to lose your singing voice, so you're just like, nah, screw the T, I don't want it, or you don't want a beard or a mustache, or you don't want to have, like, it's hard to explain, it's hard. Then you wouldn't go on T, you would just go top surgery. But then there's the people that are like, no, I want T, I want, like, the facial hair, I want to look more like a guy, not be like a girl, not be mistaken for a girl constantly, over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm definitely wanting to go for T, because I do want I want to have almost like Tony Stark beard, mustache area, because I'm gonna cosplay him at one point very soon, actually. In April, on April the 2nd, I'll be cosplaying him. Yay! So I'll probably post a video up on that. Anyways, so I want to go on T, because I don't want to be mistaken as a girl when I get my top surgery, because I really don't like it. I really don't. But so yeah, and apparently a lot from a lot of people's words or their experiences on T, you lose weight as you're on it. Depends on how, I don't even know how long it takes for you to lose the weight, but you start losing weight not just because of testosterone, like, it makes you want to work out in a formal way. Like guys, they want to work out because they're like, oh, I want to be buff, I want to be manly, I want to be like, yeah. The guys that don't have to go on T kind of guys. So they want to do that. So they're already like that, but testosterone makes you want to. Like, if you're like me, you want to go work out. You do. You really don't like your size. You hate your size. You hate everything about you. So you want to go work out and you want to lose it. But there's the fact that your motivation level is like Okay, so if it was my body, my motivation level is maybe at my knees. That's where my motivation level is. It's not very high at all. But testosterone will probably bring it all the way, like, hi, it's at your neck. Go fucking work out. But then there's the fact that I was like, lazy, I don't wanna. But you do at the same time, because you really like your fucking size. So that's a lot of times a lot of people say that testosterone motivates you, but it also, and for me, I'm not much of a meat eater. Like, the most meat that I eat is pork. That's the main amount of meat that I eat. I do eat chicken from time to time, but I dislike turkey, steak, stuff like that. I hate those things. I just don't. So apparently, from my one friend's experiences, he had more of a craving towards meat compared to when he hasn't been on testosterone. I'm just like, damn it, because I don't like the textures of most meats, so I'll just be like, hi, could I just have pork, and more pork, and not any other meats? So, yeah, it's weird. But yeah, there's that. So, I know I've just dragged this on for a very long time. It's 46 minutes right now because my mom came in, she was like, oh, you need to get a job, blah, 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 blah. Again, and she's talking about income tax and how she's taking most of it because she has been paying for my phone bill, so I'm just like, you know what, no, I don't care. You're paying my phone bill. I'm not gonna just excuse me, you ain't doing that type thing. So take the money you need. Take the money you need. I'm just gonna use that $500. Hopefully I get it soon. And I'm going to put it towards Anime fucking North. Even though most of my money for Anime North is actually from my my birthday money. So I'm like, my birthday's coming up. Hi, give me money so I can just put it right towards freaking Anime North. It's all going to Anime North because there's the hotel room that I have to pay for. At least I don't have to pay for a ticket because I'm not freaking. I already paid for that. Anyway, so so generally it would be like, hey, yay, I get to do this. I don't know where I'm going right now. My mind is just like, woo. Anyway, so that's my day. But yeah, so I've been out trans for 2, 3, 4 years. I don't freaking know why. I honestly don't remember. I've been a guy for my whole life, but I came out to knowing and understanding trans male for like 2, 3, 4 years. I don't remember. It's been a while. I finally was able to get a binder last year because my friend finally got to go see a psychologist as of 2 weeks ago, and I get to see him. Pretty positive it's the 29th of this month, and I have to see him 2 more times, so I only get to see him 4 times in total, and it's just like, well, this is joyful, because a lot of people say you have to be with the psychologist for a very long time, apparently, so I'm just like, this isn't good, because the fact is, my mom doesn't get coverage over him, after I'm 22, so I'm turning 22 in the beginning of May, so I don't get to see him at all, and it's just like, my last freaking time to see him is sometime in April, and I don't remember when. I think it's like the 26th of April. I don't remember. I want to check. No, I didn't put it on this thing. I'm just going by things, but hopefully I can see him sooner. I hope. It'd be very nice, but yeah. Anyways, so there's that. Then there is, damn, I just realized she's taking a lot of money. She's taking 600. Whatever. Anyways. So there's all of that jazz of stuff. So I'm gonna be updating this whenever any new updates come. So like when I'm able to trains. Yeah, let's go on a train. When I'm able to change my name legally to J Fane or Aiden Hart. I don't know. You guys tell me, J Fane or Aiden Hart, because I really like both of those names. There we go. I really like both of those names. Jay Fane or Aiden Hart. Oops. I've always loved Aiden because Aiden is one of my favorite names because Aiden, it's cute. It's, I personally see it's adorable. It's definitely a bottom style name. So if I was in a relationship with a guy, I'm definitely the bottom. Screw them. They can be the top. I'm the bottom. If you don't understand what that means, I'm sorry. No. If you don't understand what bottom and top means, top is the, like, in a sexual kind of way, top is the one giving, bottom is the receiver. In a non-sexual relationship, it's the one that really protects the most is the top, and the one that is protected the most is the bottom. That's generally what it means in a form of both ways. Because a lot of people don't actually have sex. They're asexual. And they're just like, you know what, who cares? You don't want to have sex? Who cares? I can care less about sex most of the time. But then there's just the time that I actually really want. Anyways, away from that. But yeah, so that's like this. I will definitely keep you updated when I can finally change my name. So yeah, Jay or Aiden, you pick. No, not really. You don't. Just give me like your feedback on Jay or Aiden, and then there's when I finally can get started on T, I will let you guys know, because when I start on T, I will be updating like every month. I think it's every month. A lot of people go every month or every week. They update like, hey, this is what's happening. Like, this is like my new cravings, my new wantings, like this is what I want to do, this is my cravings for this, my cravings for that, and blah 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 blah. This is my emotional breakdowns, stuff like that. Like, a lot of people do different things, so I might do every week, I might do every other week, or every month, and I'm not sure, so it's either which one, I don't know. When the time comes, it'll come, and I'll let you guys know. Then I will probably do my, a video of for when I go see the surgeon, like when I'm about to go see the surgeon. So like what my friend did, he did a video from on the megabus to a limo, because I think the doctor there gave them a limo, him and his friend a limo, which I'm like, dude, hi, can I go to that surgeon please? Because I would love that. So he got onto a limo, then he got to the hotel, then it showed him and the surgeon's place, so like before the surgery, after the surgery, how drugged up he was, and then I believe it showed them taking the blood bags out. So like when you get it done, they have to like drain out the blood or something. I forget what it is. Like I have to drain something. So they had to take out the drain bags, the drain jugs, whatever the frick they're called. So there's a video of doing that. So like revealing like, hey, this is your chest. You don't have boobs no more. You're finally a guy. You finally have like a guy's chest. So hey, there you go. So that's kind of like, hi. So I'm definitely gonna do that too. It's just like, his face was so adorable. And then he did like just hanging out at the hotel before they had to go back. So then it was after that, it was just a bunch of different like pictures and small videos of this is now post surgery kind of thing. That's what it was. So this is me after surgery, this is my chest after surgery, this is what's happening. I think it's one left, I think his left nipple fell off. But yeah, so I'm gonna definitely keep you guys updated and whatnot, because it's just something. But yeah, so that's that. This is this, and I should probably let you guys go because this video is 54 minutes long, but it won't be 54 minutes long on YouTube because I will be cutting that one part that my mom came into, because that's an awkward conversation. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut that out. I'm probably gonna cut out anything that doesn't really need to be in this, but probably won't, because I'm probably gonna keep it because I'm just that lazy. But yeah, so keep you guys updated. You guys are going to see more videos, not just of me going through my transition, but of me doing random other shit. I don't know when I'm going to start my transition either. It depends. I'm hoping that I can get on with CAMH soon, and also for the fact that apparently I need to get my psychologist's consent in a formal way. Then I have to go through a bunch of tests to be like, this is the right kind of tea you need to be on, and blah 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 blah, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's that. This is this, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye.